welcome to episode 25 of the Youth Squad Legends series with Chesterfield. Alright, after a bit of testing, these players are now going to get 2 times experience for the rest of the series, so long as I'm on title update 3, and we'll have some bonus experience points on top of that for the rest of season 2 to try and catch up, to try and get to where we should be at this point in the save. Here's Posh Cutsy with a scenario that will also help the growth of the players. Hello there, Posh Cutsy here. How are you doing? The amount of points that you accumulate in this episode corresponds to the amount of potential you can increase your players by. Simply wonderful. Okay, toodles! Nothing like a vocal tester at the start of the day. Let's get to the Academy tab. We've lost the latest youth tournament. It was decided by a penalty shootout in the final against Mansfield. Another bottle job performance by Chesterfield. But to be honest, if it wasn't for Matthew Mizzy, we would have got knocked out well before that penalty shootout. Basically, the entire youth academy is being held together by duct tape and a really good goalkeeper. Here's the opponent analysis for 8th place Barnsley. They play in a 5-3-2 holding. They have not lost in their last 5 matches. Tiki-taka football. We're just behind them in the table, 5 points away, and we've got a positive goal difference. Yes! Scored 44, conceded 43. I'm sure you want to see it before we start this match. Enos Jam, top of the top goal scorers list, scoring 20 in 32 games. A relatively fit team here for the first game. Kjartansson and Jam slightly feeling it. Top goal scorer in the league! Very important episode for the future of Chesterfield. It's an episode where I can't go and lose my head if things are going wrong, because just collecting points here and there against well-organised teams like Barnsley are seeming to be will actually make a ton of difference in 2 or 3 seasons' time. Let's get Hanford out of his nets. We'll go and collect that ball. He takes it with his feet. We've got Christy Mayer right in front of him. And now here's Penson, surely up and over for Enos Jam to chase. What is the defender doing? Enos with another goal! And it was handed on a plate. What on earth was that Barnsley centre-back trying to do? As if you're going to out-muscle the great Enos Jam. Been a very sensible 22 minutes of football, giving Barnsley little to go off. Can we go and select on Yango? Don't really want Soroman to be defending this corner kick. A scuff clearance by Jambe and the hard workers gone. Back to square one. A Walden own goal. Don't be daft. Soroman down the right-hand side. Who's going to be in that box? It is not Jam, but Jambe, who's done a great job of nodding it down, and Kjartansson probably should have done more with that chance. Can Smeaton hit Enos Jam? It's a little bit too close to the keeper. We've got to get Smeaton off those corners. He can't seem to curve the ball at all. On Yango's second attempt, just about enough to take the ball away from a very dangerous situation. Is an interesting one that some people might have not noticed. That's not a foul! Humphries has gone down. It's a complete dive. I think this is the first FIFA or FC game that during halftime the lighting changes, signifying some kind of passing of time. Sometimes during winter the floodlights come on, which is so cool. It's such a small detail, but for me it means a lot that they are thinking about these things. It's a slightly lower win probability for Chesterfield, but from my eyes, it's a 50-50 game. Kenneth Penson's done all right in central attacking midfield. Keep going! Run, Jam! Full-time whistle's gonna go there. It's 1-1. I think that's the best that we could have possibly done with a trip to Oakwell. Good work, guys. That's one player that we can upgrade at the end of this episode. Balls floating in midair. Halloween was like weeks ago. Try and keep up, game. Oh yeah, we definitely should celebrate that Penson performance. The centre mid looking very comfortable, just slightly further forward. Will the floodgates open for our second match? A 4-1-4-1 for the opponent, Shrewsbury, who have lost 4 of their last 5 games and find themselves 18th place at this moment in time. A lot of key players, my word. If you've got 6 key players, are they actually key, or is that just the average of the team? Big question there. To me, Penson feels like one of those players that could do a job anywhere, so he's going to play left midfield and stack up some experience points. Chesterfield against Shrewsbury. Tackle! Yes, welcome back, Chris Bancroft. Back up a second. They've got like a winger or wing-back regen called O, and he has pink hair. Look at number 24. Check his name. It's O! Enos Jam a little bit too far to be thinking about a solo run. Plays it into Smeaton before he gets absolutely smashed up. Chance might still fall to him. Oh, drifting back post! Rob Smeaton goes in and is a very unlikely headed goal scorer. A pinpoint delivery by Andrew Sorman just to get the ball over the number 22 and Sailor. The way that these central midfielders have gone and attacked this season has been nothing short of inspired. Smeaton dives in into the player, and this lad can't get out of danger because there was no pass in front of him. Smeaton to Kjartansson, and the game is done as a contest. That's Kjartansson's 15 goal. Do not rule him out for a late golden boot charge. Oh dear, Penson is down. And even when we're down to a temporary 10 men, it's all Chesterfield. This might land beautifully. Sorryman! Oh! I was being targeted a lot, had probably the most touches out of all the Shrewsbury attackers, but he's been absolutely awful. Pardon the pun, at least they've got a consolation goal. Scoreline might suggest that it was slightly close, but Chesterfield did absolutely everything right in an attempt to win the game. Yes, Kjartansson only had one shot, but the shot ended up in the back of the net. I'm sure he's absolutely delighted with it. I've seen some good choices for Team of the Week, Smeaton and Bancroft included. And the lad with the pink hair is a South Korean left midfielder, Hyun-ki-oh, 63 overall. Maybe someone to consider, potentially. It's nice for the league to hand out some easier games. Fleetwood Town in 21st place in a 5-3-2 holding. They've not seen a win in the last 5 matches. It's Swiss-style football. I don't see the need to change the team that much. Billy Blissett is in the starting lineup. So is Degazon. Fleetwood Town are coming to the SMH Stadium. Tobias Tanner has reached the 100 match mark as Chesterfield boss, so it's up to us to make it memorable for him. And with that, is it any surprise that this has just ended 0-0? In fairness, it wasn't actually a bad match. I've just cut a few highlights out to make that gag work. Alright then, a check on the injuries. Penson and Jambe both had a bruised shoulder, so fortunately we do still have a fully fit team. Our 4th match this episode will be at home against 7th place Rotherham United, playing in a 4-3-1-2. With the form, it looks like they might be falling down the table with 6 points out of a possible 15. I told you this episode was all about not losing your head. 2 draws and a win. Very good so far. We have the 2 most prolific players in the division facing off against each other in Hugill and Jam. Will they be the deciding factors? They might just go and cancel each other out, which will leave the door open for Erik Kjartansson to catch up. Pem going in for the kill, studs up, absolute perfection. It would be cheeky if we went and injured Hugill just so we could guarantee a golden boot for one of our players. This is much more defensively driven, this game. A very tight contest. Chris Bancroft might be booked. He's just keeping as tight as possible to Hugill, not giving him a moment's peace. What a letdown. Nothing is happening in this game. The top goal scorers. Come on, something happen. Do something. It is a proper cancelling out job. Jambe goes for a finesse shot. It's the 2nd shot of the game. I'm not really willing to change anything in the 2nd half, but I know that something has to. Centre mid swapping positions, an obvious one. I mean, we are getting some great joy on the left-hand side. Hugill, half a chance. He only needs it. Handford with a bit of a slip-up. There's nothing to lose now. Jam's getting further forward. Really going to focus on the Jambe and Ruoko crosses, because I think that's where the opening is. Poor old Sorman has got pocketed by the left-back. Still, we don't lose our heads. Jambe's going back post. That's what we need to see. Something that Smeaton has been excelling at this episode. Surely it's going to come to life with Jam on the end of them crosses. Rotherham United have upped the intensity. Feels like we've chased the shadows a little bit in the second half. Ruocco, left-hand side. Here's Jambe. Can he find Big Jam? Oh, yes! Jambe's set up Enos Jam. I've no idea, absolutely no idea what the goalkeeper's doing. Jam has basically been given 2 free goals this episode due to big AI mistakes. What is happening? What's going through the goalkeeper's mind? Jam up. He was early to the ball. And he's just out-muscled the goalkeeper. In fairness, he is not the tallest goalkeeper that I have ever seen. Took a bit of time to get going, but the shootout between the big goal scorers has been well worth it. Ruocco was in support, but he's pulled away. Kjortansen wanting to go short. Enos Jam's there somewhere. Oh, that'll be a corner. Please tell me that I'm changing this in time. It'll be Smeaton to deliver. Oh, Jam over the bar. And the wait for the winner continues. Chris Bancroft steps into it. Ruocco could slide it into Jambe. Kjortansen all mocked up. Will it instead be Jordan Hugel with the last laugh? Smeaton got a touch. He knew where the ball was going. It needed to be saved by Alfie Hanford. We have our full-time result. It feels like the immovable object against the unstoppable force. 1-1 it ends after the 90 minutes. Rejoice, everyone. We have a new position available for Sheringham. After all this time, he can finally change to a centre-back. Kjortansen has improved to an advanced forward plus. Does that mean that he's got an extended warranty or something?
Welcome to Yuko Ike's Haiku Chronicles with your host, Yuko Ike.
The simplest way to travel through time is to close your eyes and sleep. We've got room for one more. A mid-table clash at the end of March. At home against the 4-2-2-2 Northampton Town, who are playing Swiss-style football. Their form has turned the corner somewhat, winning 2 of their last 3 games. Does make a change to visibly see the improvements happening in real time. I know that Hanford, Darassi, Jam and Kjortansen have gone up, and probably more besides. Been a slow collection of points today, but no losses on the card just yet. Let's try and keep it like that. To my surprise, the plus doesn't feel like an overall boost, but an intelligence boost, which is a nice shake-up. Kjortansen's runs seem to be smoothened out. Enos! Feels like it's going to be a naff game, this one, but we shall do everything in our power to make that not the case. Enos Jam's surely going to head that down. It's Kenneth Penson. Wins the throw-in on the far side. Jam to move to the right-hand side seems pretty essential for the second half. Well done on Yango. Now then, Enos Jam with a spark in the second half. Whisker away. If we are going to produce the magic, he's the one that holds the key. Maybe the magic is not Chesterfield to possess. Dobson scores, but it's the assist that takes all the headlines. At least we got something to talk about. You take Enos Jam out of his defensive role and we do get weaker, but also Big Enos smashing one. It's a fabulous save, grabbing it whilst diving. Penson drifting wide. Smeaton is too far forward. Jam is too far back. We're a bit all over the place. It's Enos Jam saved again. Kjortansen managing to squeeze the pass to Kenneth Penson, who wants to make a mark on this game. That's going to be a penalty. I wouldn't put Smeaton on the penalty. Kjortansen's slightly better. It has to be the striker. Ease your nerves. Good composure. We're heading to the left. And the keeper saved that. It's usually our number one who's the game changer. Feels very different being on the other side of it. I think the changes were necessary with the correct call to go and win this game. Their goalkeeper just had an absolute blinder, which means sadly we've only got 6 potential points to hand out thanks to this episode scenario. We're going to share the potential between Christy Mayer, Natali Ruocco and Andrew Sorman, so they're all going to get 2 each. 1 win, 3 draws and 1 loss is not great reading. Still kind of in the race for the final playoff position, but it is going to take a massive swing at the end of the season to get us into 7th 7th place. Is it any surprise that Sanev was the player of the match? Question marks on that pronunciation. Just felt like a brick wall in that net. Fair play to him. This has been Cutsy. Thank you ever so much for watching this episode of Youth Squad Legends. The results might not have been there, but certainly there was an increase in attacking liveliness that overall just made the recording a lot more pleasant. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed around here yet, then press the red box down below and hit the bell icon for mobile notifications. A big thanks to everybody on the right hand side supporting me financially on Patreon. You can too, with the link down in the description box. Thanks to everybody watching this series, episode in, episode out. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.